What do you got?
All right, so just gonna stick with the video game theme here, I guess, since all three of us have had that. Games that are kind of just lost to time, I guess. I mean, you can't really properly emulate DS games. Like you don't have a touch. Like some of them, some you can, but there's some that you can't. Some games, like on the Wii, have motion controls that nowadays just don't really work out all that well. So games that are lost to time, like what was it? When Nintendo made that VR thing and had the tennis, like that.
Oh, Vulture Boy.
Yeah, like
I think
some
so.
of that stuff is kind of, like it requires certain hardware that in, let's say 15, 20 years might not exist anymore. So you just can't play these games. So
Yeah, I've seen it.
games that are kind of lost to time, I guess, that, you guys can think, or you guys wish you could play now that have been lost to time, or games
Wish
that...
you could play. I don't want to play any of them. But
Yeah.
Well, because I mean,
a few.
like a lot of the DS games, they require the touchscreen input, right? Like that's
But DSs are pretty easy to find. I mean, they're
okay,
3DSs.
that's not the point.
3DSs are
like
kind of hyped
300
up.
bucks.
That's not the
He's
point,
saying
though.
things that will be lost to time.
I'm not
Oh.
saying it's easy to find a DS, so who cares? I'm saying like unless you have it, you can't play it. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
As of now, I don't know. I mean, lots of stuff like that is phasing out or is already phased out, but you can still find it. Like,
Yeah.
remember when on 360 when they tried to do their whole Connect thing
Yeah.
with motion sensor and
Yeah,
all that
like
stuff?
a lot of those
A lot
games
of
are
the
going to be
Kinect
kind of
games
lost.
Don't work anymore. If you
I don't know if
use
I'd say
the Kinect, and it's not
lost
even a
though. They're
thing.
just gone. I mean, lost implies the value was there.
Okay, but you get the point that I'm making, though. Like,
Yeah, I think one that sticks out to me is like Duck Hunt for the original NES.
yeah, I mean that's one for sure.
Technically, that's getting lost because unless you have a CRT, which are getting harder and harder to find,
I
and
got
like
two of them in
a
this
whole-
closet.
like more people are getting rid of them. Like you can't play them on like
Be
flat
careful.
screens.
They release really, really bad, electrons and etc. Like the atoms that get released can actually give you cancer. They actually can.
I've
Oh,
already
really?
had people tell me I am a cancer, so it's okay.
But no, seriously, that's part of why they're no longer sold.
But yeah, so like those, since those are kind of getting phased out, or they kind of have been, but like you can't use the light guns on those.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
Because even on a modern TV, they don't work.
No, because it's the way the light guns work.
Yeah,
It's,
Which-
it's because of how they actually shoot the electrons
Yep.
through a photon sheet
yeah,
and
yep,
actually send it through.
yep.
And the way it refractures the atoms can actually mess with your system.
Yeah.
They mess with you at a cellular level.
But
So don't sit too close.
so yeah, I'd say that
Too
one.
late.
No, like seriously, there's a reason I say you should sit so many feet from the TV screen. It was because of those.
Interesting. I guess I never knew that. But yeah, like that's a perfect example. Duck Hunt's kind of lost in time, I guess. A lot of I keep bringing up the DS and the Wii because I mean the motion controls on the Wii with a lot of those games where it almost is required. In how many years, unless you have the Wii for motion control, you won't be able to play a lot of these games. And I don't really like that.
Well, see, the thing is though, I'd argue with the Wii because the good games, like the ones that people care about, are getting ported to the Switch and like continue. Like Skyward Sword is a perfect example. Like that's a very, very motion control heavy game, but they just put it on the Switch and it works fine. It works really good actually. I think.
Except for the pumpkin game.
Yeah,
but
but that game's always sucked. But
that's always sucked. But
Well, but
still.
you could say like the original though. You can't play the original.
yeah,
Like just think of
But I feel
the
like-
original Diamond and Pearl. Like when you go into Underground, you can't get Spear Tomb anymore
nope. You can't.
because people aren't in the Underground, and you have to talk to 30 of them or
Yeah.
however many it is.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So-
Well, you can do it, but it's super tedious. Like you have to actually run into people in person.
Yeah,
Like-
but are you going to do that? Like,
Well,
like it was actual people
yeah,
in the original games instead of just like unique NPCs in the new one.
yeah,
So you can't do that anymore because
yeah,
that is like shut off now pretty
Yeah.
much.
yeah, yep.
And see, I think that's kind of sad though in a way too. That a lot of these games, or even like if the online services get shut down, like all these old games. I think it was it just the old Halo servers got shut down on
Yeah,
Xbox?
so
Like,
I played that up till the end, man. Halo 2.
yeah. So
Xbox Live. So
I mean,
good.
that's gone now. That's something that's not going to come back unless, and obviously you can be like, oh, well, there's going to be some people that make their own servers. Like that's not
That's not the same.
the same. Yeah, that's
You can. There's Halo 2 like a PC port type thing before it was on PC
yeah.
that people played, but no, I remember like watching a stream of something, or there's like it was down to like 20 people or whatever left in the server
Yeah.
before it was going to be shut off and die. And there's like a countdown going and stuff. and they kept playing like big team battle and stuff. And
Yeah.
he got down to the wire and it ended, and they were still on. Like, what the heck is going on? So they kept playing, and then everything just shut off a little bit later on. Like, it wasn't the same right time, but like,
Yeah.
it might have been like 25 minutes or an hour or something after they were still on. But once they were gone, you know.
Yeah,
It was
that's a great example too, though. Like just stuff that's lost in time, I guess. And there's so many games like that you know we'll have the memories of it, but then you won't be able to go back and actually play because either the support is completely gone, or the motion controls are gone, or you know like he was saying with some of the Kinect games, or whoever said it.
Yeah, dude.
You said it with the Kinect games. A lot of those are no longer a thing. I mean, even if you really enjoyed it, you know, in 10 years, if you're like, you know what, I want to go back and play that. Oh wait, my Kinect's broke. Now I can't. You know. And I guess I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't know. Maybe you guys feel differently about it.
It's
I
just how it is.
I know it's how it is. No,
technology
I
works.
You get new
and
things get
I
old,
get
and
that.
it doesn't make sense for anyone to keep servers running for a game that.
Oh,
one
I know,
plays.
and I'm not saying it does make sense.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like it's one of those things where
Yeah.
there's so many games now that are lost basically forever that you know they exist. They're still a game, but you can't play it.
Yeah.
And also, there's another thing too that I guess could kind of add into this, and maybe I know you're going to have an opinion on it for sure. Let's say that licensing for a game is just like, or music or whatever. Let's say like they lose all the rights to using it, so they just send out a patch and brick the game. Because now with everything being connected online, that's a very real possibility where the game is just they send out one update and you can no longer play it.
People can find ways around that.
I know they can. Well, people can, but for a lot of the normal, you know, not tech savvy
Sure.
people, that's not an option.
It's life.
Just a rollback or just take back the update, you know? That's not that hard to do. For a non-tech savvy person, I guess it could be a little bit more strenuous, but...
Can
I was
do
going to say,
that?
like, think about my sister who's 18 and still was like the other day, hey, Minecraft isn't opening. Can you help me fix it? And it just said, right, like straight up, download
YouTube.
this launcher instead. Like it said on the screen, you need to use this launcher. Like go here, like click this link and download this launcher.
Well, that was
I'm
more
like-
her issue.
Well, I know, but like what I'm saying though is things like that, you know, where people that aren't like they don't bother looking into it. There's like, okay, so that one update, it's gone.
That's the thing, though. Like, you have internet.
Yeah.
So go to YouTube, type it into Google, and you have a good chance of figuring it out
Yeah.
if
Oh, yeah.
you just try a little bit.
But you got to think though, we are all relatively tech savvy people.
Sure.
Like for the people
Tell
that
that to
are
my
not,
parents, they're like, how do you do this? Can you this doesn't work? I'm like, did you look it up on Google? What? No. Why? Like, type it in. Oh,
Yeah.
first answer right there. It's just they don't. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
think about that. Right offhand. That's fine, but if you do, you can figure some stuff out.
oh yeah, which like I keep saying, you know, for people like us, not a big deal. But I'm just thinking there's so many things that, because realistically, there's nothing stopping them from doing that with some games, you know, where it's
Some
just
games
like,
are laws, though, that restrict them from being able to do so.
but for a lot of them though, like you say, there's laws for some, like there's nothing stopping an indie developer from being like, hey, you know what, this update, just gonna brick it, you can't play it anymore. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying that they could.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if they want to
They
go out
can
of
if they
business,
want.
I just don't
Their
get why they
IP.
Yeah.
would. You know,
I don't know. That
there's
anyone
really no
would.
benefit to
Well,
doing
I'm not
so.
saying there
Unless they
is. I'm
just
saying
need
it's
people,
it's
but-
is something that is possible, which is a
Sure.
weird thing, you know.
Yeah, I feel like
It is
though.
what it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're getting the territory of like, well, anything's possible. Like, Nintendo could just be like, all right, we're done making consoles. They're not gonna do that, you know. Like, it's not realistic.
I think that's a different thing, though.
If anyone does, it's them though.
I don't know.
With the choices Nintendo's been making, I can see that.
I mean, they're pretty consistent. We know what's gonna happen, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I got. I guess it.
I
Is
think-
what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of too. I mean, honestly, if you really think about it, just any game is because like,
Any
even
old game, usually.
even if you look at like the SNES or NES, like technically all of those games are because you can't put the cartridge into any of the new consoles.
But it's so easy though to still play those. Like, what I'm saying,
Yeah, like the big core
You
ones.
gotta have an older TV though, so you can put in
the
your
only one
actual
that I can think,
plugs.
Mm-hmm.
And still,
Well, you can get adapters for some, but it's not the
but
same.
That's
Yeah,
not the
the-
same.
the only thing I can think of for the NES that would be, you know, like lost, I guess, would be Duck Hunt.
Well,
Because like everything else is so easy just to type in on Google, be like, hey, I want to play this. So you type in
Wow.
Super Mario, and boom, you're playing it. You know.
Even
Yeah.
then, there's some of them that have licensing issues where they can't bring it into the new generation either.
Well, yeah, and that's
Earthbound.
I was just gonna say it. Where's Logan? He's gonna say it.
that was one of the most predictable moments. But what I'm saying though is, you know, like I'm talking more on the technological side where it's like, okay, you can't use that gun, so Duck Hunt's gone. You can't use, you know, let's say in 15 years, someone's like, hey, I want to show you the game I played as a kid. And they were like, oh, wait, we don't have the Wii remote, so we can't play Wii bowling. You know, like, I'm not saying anyone's going to want to go back in 15 years and play Wii Sports.
It's
but
just how it works with every game when it gets
Yeah,
older.
because I feel like
It's
if you're
just how it is.
but when they use a gimmick like motion controls, though, then it's going to be gone. I'm
It's the
saying.
same.
because like if you think about it, it's the same thing with
you break all your controllers.
Yeah.
You don't have a controller.
yeah,
It's the same
exactly.
Thing.
Like if you
But you can use other controllers that will do the same thing.
Sometimes,
yeah, and also
not
it's
on
like
old consoles usually.
it's if you're looking at it that way, the 360 and Wii are like the same thing because okay, we don't want to go back and play. I don't know what's the good 360 game like, not an online one.
That's not online.
Yeah, I can't think of one. Yeah, okay. You want to go back and play the original Mass Effect on the 360? Say we haven't had re-releases of it. Well, if you don't have an Xbox 360 or you don't have a controller for it, it's the same as if you wanted to go back and play Wii Bowling.
See,
and
but I
didn't
don't
have a Wii and didn't have a Wii remote.
See,
you know?
but I think you're missing the point though. Like that's not really lost because you can still get it on Steam and you can still play it, or even then, like you could get a way to play it. I'm saying with a lot of the games that require touchscreens, you can't really do that now properly. Like you can't properly play some of the old DS games. You can't properly play some of the old games that require motion controls
It's
now.
the same thing. It's just your ability to get it is even less than what we're talking about. It's the same thing, the same concept.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm just thinking with strictly controller games like Mass Effect or whatever, like you
Sure. It
just
happens
plug a
with
controller
age.
into the computer
Like,
and you're good.
kind of, but you're not playing it on that console, which is the whole point.
Like
you
Centraria
know-
says you can emulate DS on mobile, but like
You can.
I don't know if that's.
It's not great.
I said that just seems like a really
You know
crappy
what pissed me
experience.
off? Final Fantasy 12, the original is the if you have the original on PlayStation 2, that is the only way you can play that original job system type thing without the updates, because all it is Zodiac Age on everything else now.
It's true.
So I don't have a PS2 or the old game. Never gonna play it.
You want me to loan you mine?
We might have to talk later, Wes.
I will loan you my PS2 and my
It defeats
old
the
Final
purpose
Fantasy
though,
12.
because I have a profile on PlayStation that has all my trophies and everything, and I will never be a part of it because I'm not going back. Maybe
I mean,
someday.
I got a PS3 you could borrow if you wanted.
Maybe someday.
That you could get the trophies or whatever.
Or
but-
I don't know. Does the original game work on PlayStation 4?
I don't know.
The PS2 game?
I don't have a PS4, so I don't know.
I don't think you can play PS2 games on PS4.
Yeah, I don't think it's backwards compatible.
That sucks.
PS5 is.
Regardless, I think
PS2?
Square Enix just needs to go
think-
back and just fix the Zodiac job
I know-
system and let you
That'd
have
be
the
great,
original
but
option.
it will never happen. But
Oh, it won't. But that's what they need to do.
I don't know. That was my last 2 cents.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
I'm pretty good.
All right,
on
so
that
you
too.
guys all done then?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
So